Hello, everyone, and welcome to Era Military Collectibles. How are you all keeping? I hope you're all keeping with this Friday. It is Friday. Huh. Should be Friday. Yeah, it is Friday. I hope you're all keeping well. Been a manic 24 hours in this household. I came in contact with somebody with scarlet fever, so I have to quarantine myself for 24 hours. But everything's looking well. That family member is well on the mend. So all good, and hopefully we'll be back to normal again tomorrow. So how are you all keeping? Um, had a have a couple of things to talk about tonight. We'll wait for start people to come in. Kenny Rebel, hello, how are you keeping? Cold War Chemical. I got an M72 Law. Well done, well done. I actually have one there somewhere as well myself. Uh, they're all late, John. Put them on a charge. I will. I'll try my best, Kenny. I don't know if we could charge like Stan and Andrew and uh, Jim Timber. I don't know if they'd all take the charges. My Law, it's actually an airsoft one. It's just up here behind a load of stuff. I'm gonna knock everything out trying to get it out. Yeah, told you, gonna knock everything. Stand. There we go. So there you go. That's my Law. It's actually an airsoft one, as you can tell by the orange tip. But yeah, it does for props and stuff for putting on displays and things. Jude, hello, how are you? Darren, hello, how are you keeping? How's everyone? How are you all keeping? I hope you're keeping well, staying out of trouble, as they say. Everything is good here, as I said. Some health scares in my family this week, so I had to quarantine myself for 24 hours, but everything is looking good. I do have to say hello to a gentleman. Now, he didn't give me permission to mention his name online, and hopefully he's watching. If he's watching, he can let me know. But I got stopped in my hometown from a subscriber. Very, very happy with the channel. Loved what I was doing. And it was nice. It was nice to get that boost from, especially from somebody so local. So if you're out there, thanks very much for stopping me. Say hello to me. If any of you ever do see me on the street, or if any of you ever do see me at a show or a festival or anything like that, you're more than welcome to approach me, guys, and say hello and talk to me, give me input about the channel and stuff like that. So yeah, I know himself and his partner watch on the Friday nights. So just want to say thank you very much. So we have some questions coming in. Have been packing. This is from Kenny Rebel. Have been packing for the weekend. Going to stay in a Cold War bunker with Lazy Company reenactment group depicting the Black Horse U.S. Cavalry Regiment in the 80s. Oh, very cool, Kenny. That's very, very cool. Black Horse U.S. Cavalry Regiment. That's Vietnam era, I believe. Or sorry, you're doing it in the 80s. I do believe the Black Horse got famous during the Vietnam conflict as well. What airsoft rocket launcher shoot is just a big ball? Also, mine is Norwegian, I think. Oh, okay, cool. Steel Helmet Stan, good evening to you. Welcome, welcome. How are you? How are you all keeping? So what's in what we going talking about tonight? Well, we're talking about a few things. I was on to my a buddy of mine in the north, Mr. Hall, Gary, in relation to, because Gary's in the know pretty much. Gary's in the north. He's my point of contact when stuff comes up from Mott Banner and things like that. And I was talking to him in relation to doing the paramilitary impression. So he started to give me an idea of what we can do that was not going to upset everyone. So we're going to try that out and see what happens. They were at Fulda in Germany too. Oh, the Black Horse. Sorry, Kenny. Yeah, they were actually. Were they stationed in Germany? I think they were. What does the sorry, going back to Cold War. What does Hat Green? Who's going to Hat Green in April? I'm not going to Hat Green in April anyway. I am going to the Living History UK Festival in April. I'm one of the organisers of that. One of the staff members of that. I'm not really an organiser. That's up to the three boys, Dominic, Pete, and Steve. I'm going to try and get over then as well at the end of the year, probably with my family, to one of the big shows like Victory and Yorkshire and something like that. To get from Ireland, it's very taxing on my family. It's very taxing on my wallet. I'm not sponsored by anyone. But you do like the videos, you do enjoy the videos, so I will try and do them. But I have to be very, very selective about what I do. Not sure about the Hat Green yet. I know I presume that's at Temple, Suffolk Military Show. Andrew Johnson, hello, how are you? How are you keeping? Hope you're keeping well. So that's what we've been up to. I've been doing a little horse trading with Gary as well. Hopefully that'll get sorted out in the next few weeks, and we'll have some new items to show on the channel. Impression wise, there's a couple of impressions. I'm still trying to finish my SAS Falklands one. Believe it or not, even though it's like what Falklands 82, we are 2003, so do the maths. It's still very hard to get equipment for that. Royal Mail has been a pain in the bottom. I ordered stuff pre-Christmas in December, December, off of SOF. It arrived last week or the week before. So it's a very, very slow process trying to get that impression together. There will be some off banner stuff coming up this weekend. People have been asking me to do an awful lot of off banner, and there will be some documentaries coming up because people have been asking me to do some documentaries. Interesting little one. I purchased for a Christmas present for myself again in December. Royal Mail, it didn't come to January, but look, it is what it is. Was a World War One medal to a guy in Clonmel, in County Tipperary. And with my friend Danny Reese, we are researching him at the minute, and there will be a video coming up on that. And there's some very, 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 very interesting things coming up about that medal. So there you go. 2003. I wish I was 33 when then I'm playing first team rugby for now club. Oh, did I say 2003? I meant to say 2023. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Liking that Bren video, Stan. It was outstanding. Yes, Stan is. I was chatting to Stan as well during the week. Stan is redoing some of his videos that he had done in the past that he wasn't happy with, so he took a lot down and he's putting up some stuff again. So they're very, very good. Go check out Stan's videos, guys. I think he's around 600 subscribers the last I looked. Try and get him. Shall we say we try and get him past 700 in the next couple of months. We'll see what happens. But yeah, go check out Stan, guys. Very, very good guy. Very nice guy. Regular contact with Stan. So there you go. Where have we gone? From Jude Steins, try to do a few videos at Irish shows. Unfortunately, there's no Cork show this year. That's a total bummer. Yes, Jude, I will try and get to Irish shows. I will try and get to Irish shows this year. Unfortunately, with Irish, believe it or not, with Irish laws and Irish things, you need to be invited by the show organisers and let them know you're filming. Because for GDHP and stuff like that, for things like that, people are aware that there's filming going on. Not so much in England, you don't have to do that, but definitely in Ireland you need to do it if you're there in an official capacity of filming press. So I need to get onto some guys, or I need to get talks with some people that are in Irish shows. So hopefully that can come about. Kenny, that's funny, Stan. You had hair. He did have hair at one point in time. Nice play on words, Kenny. Yeah, it's a great bit of kit. It is. Yeah, the Brens are a great crack, actually. Cold War Chemicals. Can we all make fake accounts and fill his subs with those? You can do whatever you want, Kenny. Just try and get his subs up. If you're not subscribed to him already, go try and subscribe to him. Are privacy laws different in Ireland? Yes, they are. If I was to film in a public area, such as, we'll say, a folk park or anything like that, and if I was to put it on YouTube, I have to let the area or the place. Okay, say I'm at a folk park. I have to ask permission at the folk park. I can film there. And then I have to they have to put up signs saying there's filming that will be on public domain, shall we say, such as internet and stuff like that. And if you're not happy with it, obviously you don't have to watch out for the filming and stuff like that. So it is a bit trickier in Ireland to do filming in locations and stuff like that. So there we go. Steel Helmet Stan. Yes, Kenny, I shaved it all off age 35 or 36 as it was thinning out fast. I'm the same, actually. I need to sort out mine. I have a patch coming here. Well, it's actually a scare, but it's not too bad. But Dave, hello, how are you? Jude Steins, contact the IMVG for the next show. I'm sure there wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I definitely will. I actually filmed with them in Yorkshire last year. Yorkshire Wartime Experience. I filmed with them there. So yeah, it was good. Are the laws like that because of the Troubles? No, they're not. It's just there are laws in relation to filming around police stations, military bases, airfields, things like that. There are laws from the Troubles over that. You can't take photographs or anything like that. If you see soldiers on the streets or anything like that, you're not supposed to take photos of them. It's actually illegal. You can't do it. There used to be the big thing when the Irish Army here used to do cash escorts, was they bring cash around to the banks. We had an awful lot of trouble at that stage with people trying to take photographs of us. You weren't allowed to take photographs of us. It was against the law. So yeah, there are specific laws there for the Troubles, but it's not. It's to do with privacy laws. You don't have without your permission or without your knowledge, you can't have your image taken on to be published, shall we say. What have I missed? Jake Brown. Evening, dude. I'm live tomorrow at 5 p.m. if you are free. I might be. We'll wait and see. I'll give you a message tomorrow and let you know, Jake. Full disclosures then. Yes, you have to be fully disclosure about it. Cold War Chemicals. What's a fake account? Pardon my ignorance. Fake account basically is you just make up an account with a random name and you subscribe to it, like a ghost account and things like that. Okay, we'll do, mate. Ireland abides to EU GDPR regs because of Brexit. No, the UK doesn't yet. Exactly. There are actually European laws in relation to filming and stuff like that here. Got a steel cam in a tie. Oh, sorry, got a Stasi cam in a tie. I'm not sure, Kenny, what you mean by that one. Hope you're well, though, buddy. I am fine. I'm fine. As I was saying, I came in contact with somebody who had scarlet fever. So they're contagious for 24 hours. So the doctor advised me and some other people that had come in contact with them to isolate for 24 hours. So that's all I did. Back to normal tomorrow. So there we go. Also, horrible news from the north from the past couple of days. Yes, they're still investigating that at the minute. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, that was fairly horrible. Kenny Rebel for secret filming, John. Oh, sorry, I get you now. The little camera that goes onto your tie, a Stasi camera. Oh, I get you now. As long as it's not brain fever, it turns you yellow. Brain fever. I'm not sure what you mean. Yeah, look, I'm fine. I'm perfectly well. Everything is good. I'm drinking a hot beverage out of my 1953 enamel mug that was kindly given to me by Andrew Johnson. I actually love that mug. All my tea is drank out of that mug, and I do have a white enamel one as well. That I drink out of it. I'm just looking here. The enamel has chipped. There's a small little chip on the lip of it, but we'll be okay. We'll survive. Yeah. So we've been on for 50 minutes and we've been rabbiting on already. He's going to turn into Redcoats if he has scarlet fever. Yeah, exactly. So what have we been doing? Well, what videos are coming up from the weekend? People have been asking me to do what banner videos. So this is a famous picture. I don't know if you can see that. Famous individual as well. Some guys might recognize who that is and actually know his real name. That was a picture taken, famous picture from the Troubles, and it was from the Battle of the Bogsides. And if you actually look at the little chap here, he's wearing a World War II civilian gas mask. He's got his little Sinn Féin pin on him, about to throw a petrol bomb. But I actually have two of those masks, so we're going to do a little interesting video based on this picture. So that's coming up this weekend. Hope you tune in for it and I hope you like it. Jake chats are worth checking out. Most interesting. Yes, they are, but they're very long. So brace yourselves, guys, if you do go watch one of Jake's lives. They can go on for a while. Let's put it that way. What other filming is coming up this weekend? There's some other small little bits and pieces. I'm sort of disillusioned a small bit because I can't quite get it right, because sometimes you put up a video and it gets massive. First day or two you could have 200 or 300 hits in it, and then you put up a video that you put an awful lot of effort into and you think it's very, very interesting, and you're lucky to get 50 or 60 or 100 views. So I won't lie, I did get slightly disillusioned the last few videos I put up because I thought they'd get better hits, but then they did. But sure, look, it is what it is. We can't all be famous. Still understand, yeah, I have a couple of those too. One with a lady's address on the box. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you'll actually see in the video about something interesting about the one that I have. At least he will not catch fire. No, he won't catch fire if he's got scarlet fever. Bring drinks and sleeping gear if you're watching one of my lives. Yeah, they can. It feels like that. There's a bloke on eBay that makes 3D printed filters for those World War II masks. Yeah, because I wouldn't advise you to wear those masks, guys, because there's asbestos in them. So there you go. Don't worry, I only got 60-inch views. 60-inch views on my videos. I'm not worried about it. Cold War Chemical. I'm not worried about the video, the views. The views doesn't bother me. It's just to try and keep. When you get a momentum, shall we say, when you get a momentum, and you like to keep the momentum, and you're second guessing yourself the whole time. You're going, oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. Just because you're interested doesn't mean somebody else is interested. So let's try and find that happy medium. Herefordshire Regimental Museum. Shalom. Hello, how are you? If any of you don't know, that's Danny Reeslads, my best mate. Go check him out. Go subscribe to him. He is obviously Herefordshire Regimental Museums, and if he is on TikTok as Herefordshire Lad. So go check him out. Very, very interesting guy. And as I was saying, me and him have found out a very interesting thing about a medal that I purchased for myself over Christmas. So there we go. Brother from another mother. Yes. She was on the big island and my one was actually on the small island. They messaged each other in post. In relation to that parcel, Danny, I emailed the last email that I got to say that it would be delivered within 2 weeks, and it's still not there. But I am going to the post office tomorrow to try and track down a steel mug that Andrew sent me about 3 or 4 weeks ago now at this stage. It still hasn't arrived. So we'll hopefully find them somewhere. The Spectics call it traction. Oh, about the momentum. Sorry, I understand now what you're saying, Dave. Jake Brown, Shalom, Danny, aka CQMS Reese. Yes. Actually, I was talking to. 1 second there, guys. I was actually chatting with Stan during the week. I do call people. I do get in contact with. Um, I'm in regular contact with a lot of the guys, and I was just chatting to Stan. Give Stan a phone call. Told him to ring me because I was asking him about his opinion on doing a video, and he was commenting on about some of Danny's stuff, and Gary Hall was doing the same as well. Like that, they found his SAS collection extremely interesting, and Danny actually, believe it or not, has every single service rifle that the British Army used going back as far as the Zulu Wars. Um, and we did a video on that. We did a video on some of his medal collection. But there's still a lot more there. So the next time I'm back over with Danny, we'll do some more filming of his private collection. It's a massive collection. That's a huge collection. He actually owns World War II, which you have seen on the channel. He owns a 1942 Willys Jeep. He has a Wimmick that is rigged up for the Pathfinders in Operation Telik or Herrick in Afghanistan. So we'll do videos on those. I think I did actually. You briefly see his Wimmick on the first Living History UK video that I did. So go check that out if you haven't seen it. Go check it out. I was watching a video by ABC about the new IRA. There was a short riot scene and a lad cracked a petrol bomb, missed the Jeep, tried to pick it up and failed, dropped it again and set himself on fire. Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me one bit whatsoever. Go get it, Cold War Chemical. I'm not sure what you mean, go get it. That makes soldiers laugh. I'm not going to get political now. I'm not going to get political. Think that's bad. I posted a video of one of my range days and I got a call from the range owner. Another club member got onto him to give out about the pistol I was shooting. Bloody annoying. Yeah, see, this is the thing. You have to be, looking. You have to be very, very careful when you're filming in public. I did chuckle. Everyone and variants. Yes, he has, what has he? He's got a Martini. He's a Longley. He's an SMLE. He's a Mark IV. He has SLR. He has SA80. He has SA80A2 as well, I believe. Yeah, I think he has every service rifle going dating back as far as the Zulu Wars. So there you go. Looking for the Easter Bunny in Dublin, was he, John? No, he was looking for something, all right. The chap with the medal. I'm not gonna divulge too much about it, but it basically was a medal I bought for. I did pay slightly too much from what Danny recommended me. It was an Irish guy. The reason I bought the medal, right? When I was in the military, I was stationed in Clonmel Barracks in Tipperary for a while. It's no longer there. It's closed down. Well, it's still there, but they've renovated it and restructured it now. It's no longer a military barracks. So I seen the guy that was selling the medal on eBay had done a small bit of research on it, and he said that your man was from Clonmel. So if he was from Clonmel, he was obviously stationed in Clonmel Barracks. And with his regiment, it was the main depot of that regiment. So I thought, yeah, there's a nice little connection with that. So Danny, who is a whiz kid when it comes to researching stuff and things like that, I sent Danny the details. Danny rings me back in about 10 minutes time, 15 minutes time, I suppose, after I sent him the name and the details and stuff like that. And Danny goes, you're not going to believe this, John, but I think he was involved in a very significant thing that happened in Irish history. And we started doing a bit of detective work, and it's looking like 99.9% he was there in the area when this historical event took place. So I'm not going to mention what it is. I'm not going to go into any more details, but yeah, so it's going to come up, and it's going to be very, very good. Where have we gone? Did the British ever issue folding stock para SLRs? No, but I do know of an individual who picked one up in the Falklands and used it for his service rifle. And I believe it is now hanging on a sergeant's mess in a certain barracks in England. Yeah, so they weren't issued them, but they did find them. There's lots of filming I'd like to do on local graveyards, but you are supposed to get council permission. One cemetery around here has a memorial to the HMS Hood sailor. Another has German aircrew. Yeah, like and not. I've never, ever, ever, ever when I've done filming outside or whatever like that, I've never ran into an issue where somebody has said no. They're normally very, very amicable when they know what you're asking and what you want to do. Especially with what I do, when they find out that there's no political side of it or anything like that, they're very, very happy about it to let me do the filming. Is it a long way to those barracks, John? It is. It's a long bloody way to Tipperary because the road is crap. Kenny Rebel, no, they didn't issue folding stock SLRs or enough laying around in the Falklands after the Jolly in 1982. Yeah, there was. My granddad's brother was killed on the HMS Hoodstand. Jesus, that's interesting. I actually have a family member who was taken off the HMS Hood a week before it was sent to battle and sunk. So yeah, so there you go. Thanks for the clarification, Herefordshire Regimental Museums and John. Yeah, I heard there was a few folding stocked fells tossed into the English Channel in 1982, just off Southampton. There probably was. It wouldn't surprise me. I know some guys did pick up the SLRs, pick up the FNs because they had automatic capability, whereas the British SLRs didn't. Now, if you've ever tried to shoot or fire an FN on fully automatic, best of luck to you because you're going to hit nothing. But yeah, and there's a kick and a half off of an SLR if you're not used to firing that type of a round. From Steelhelm Stan, Andrew Johnson. It's interesting, Andrew. The sailor here has a brother, was killed 2 weeks earlier serving in the RAF, and a couple of fellas from my town were on Hood. There was only 3 survivors. There was only 3 survivors. One of them didn't pass. One of them, there's a famous picture actually, and I think he was the last one of them to pass away. Was he a signalman, or a bunting tosser, as they're famously known as, walking after he was brought back to shore. Obviously, he was big publicity at the time. There was a picture of him holding his brother's hand as they were walking. Now, I presume the sailor was in his late teens, early 20s, because his brother looked like he was, I'd say he was in primary school, between the age range of 6 and 12. So yeah, so it's a very, very interesting picture. If you look it up, go onto Google Pictures and look up the surviving sailor of HMS Hood, you'll find that picture. It's a very heartwarming picture, actually, believe it or not, if you see it. One was from round here, and another ended up living in Teesside. There was actually a Teesside Irish at one stage regiment as well, Stan. Full auto fell, side picture. What side picture? Exactly. It's ridiculous. I've done it once, and by God, you know you've done it. The third guy died from injuries in a car crash in Scotland in the 60s. Ah, okay. Maybe it was a different guy I'm thinking of. I was able to find the house of the sailor from my hometown who died on Hood. Ah, that's cool. I love that when that happens, when you can actually when you can, I want to put a face, but you can I suppose when you can build that mental picture in your head of, like, 15 minutes walk from me. There's I am doing a video and I'm not going to talk too much about it. There's an abbey called Clare Abbey. Oliver Cromwell camped his army around that abbey. He also burnt it, but he camped his army around that, and people walk their dogs down there. They go for a stroll or whatever, and they don't realize the history you don't realize the history in your area. My little town is a very historical town, and there's a lot, like, we have a houses going back to 15 something, still being lived in, still being used. I think we have a Norman castle 20 minutes down the road, which would whatever the Norman conquest of Ireland was at that stage. But yeah, so there's lots and lots of history around my little area, which is very, very cool. And not many people know about it and just don't recognize it, I suppose, or don't realize it, the history that is around the place. From David, remember Jim Davison? Okay, getting in trouble for be giving a Browning high power from the Falklands after he was entertaining troops there. I didn't know that. I didn't know he got in trouble after they gave him a Browning. Yeah, there you go. Still don't understand. There's a HMS Hood website that has photos on it and loads of info about the crew. Also, Andrew, your relative will be on there for sure. Ah, cool. Go check it out. Yeah, definitely, Andrew. Check it out. Sorry, my phone just pinged there. What's wrong? It's just a John lives in Cumberwick Green. His fire station is very famous. Let's see who gets that. Yeah, there's a lot of history around the west coast here where I'm from. There's a beach. Oh, 30 minutes drive, 40 minutes drive. That actually had a World War II bomber crash on it during the Second World War. There's a couple of mountains further down in Kerry. They've had tops taken off them with Spitfires, and I think there was a Hurricane, and there was a C-130 as well, and there was some other bits and bobs that didn't know their altitude and met the top of a mountain. There's one in Tipperary as well, actually, I think. Spanish Armada, very, very famous on the west coast. If any of you don't know what that is, it was basically the Spanish tried to invade England through Ireland, and they sent over a load of ships. Spanish Armada ran into bad weather, got wrecked off the west coast of Ireland. So you actually believe in an awful lot of the villages on the west coast of Ireland, you will actually see Spanish names. You will come across guys with Spanish names, because their forefathers fell off a ship and were hidden from the British and married locally and stuff like that. So there you go. But can he name all the firemen? Yeah, so there we go. I'm just gonna have another sip of my tea while you bombard me with questions. Oh. Just going to put this on silent, guys, so it's not pinging away in the corner. There we go. Tote the flute, I am here safely, is on Kenny. It's all good, bro. Don't know what, Jim. What's going on there? Pew pew. Bernie Manu. Who can finish? My mum had something on 12-inch. Pew pew, Bunny Magoo. Oh, you're all singing now with this. Holy crap! It's a name called. It's the man called Timbers, Dark here in West of Coast. Yeah, so there's an awful lot of history around my area, massive history, and unfortunately, it's not used. It isn't used. Being political statement, government don't advertise enough. Town councils don't advertise it enough. There isn't enough knowledge out there of the history that is local. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame. There's the remnants of the Beast 26 top of Balborn up the road from Lorne. Oh yeah, I forgot about that actually. There's an engine left on one of was it one or two engines left on the one in Kerry. It's actually quite funny. There's one in Achill as well, near Achill Island, that crashed, and apparently some locals who were because obviously at that time there was a shortage of metals and stuff like that. But the locals went up with horse and traps and cars and everything. Not cars, horse and traps and carts, and literally took the plane apart and brought it back down. And by the time the investigating crowd came to check and find out what happened, the crew that had unfortunately perished had been buried, and their personal belongings had been kept, but most of the plane had been scrapped by that stage. So, yeah. High stand the man Kenny the Rebel. Darren, how rare is Irish Desert Camo kit, and is it still used? It is very, 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 very rare. I have only ever seen 2 sets being issued out. Um, I know where one of them is. It's in a museum in my home barrack, or my local barracks, or what used to be my local barracks, my old barracks. There's one issued there. They were issued to get lads in Afghanistan. They were issued as well. They were not the chocolate chip version. The American chocolate chip version was issued to guys in Somalia. Quickly stopped wearing it, and they went back to French green Franklins when all the whole Black Hawk Down scenario kicked off. But the Irish Desert DPM is very, very rare. As I said, I've only ever seen 2 guys. I've only know of 2 guys that have been issued it. I presume the guys above in Dakota were probably issued it. But they're wearing an experimental multicam now at the minute. So I don't think it's being used anymore. We don't have any soldiers in Afghanistan or Iraq anymore. We used to, believe it or not, we did have Irish soldiers in Afghanistan. We had bomb disposal teams and special forces and military advisors and stuff like that in Afghanistan. They're in Mali now at the minute, but I think they're still wearing the same Paddy Flash green uniforms. I don't think they're being issued the desert stuff in Mali. But yeah, it is very rare. It is very, very rare. Sorry, where have I gone? A Halifax bomber came down in some woods near my grandma's house. He saw it, or my granddad's house. Sorry, he seen it come down whilst he was on his way to school. That's cool, Stan. Well, that's not cool for the buggers inside the Halifax, but that he remembers that piece of history. That's cool. Is that 3 Commando DPM behind you, sir? It is not 3 Commando. Well, it is 3 Commando, but it is Army Commando. I did a video on that. He is an Army Commando attached to 3rd Commando. There you go. He's also passed P Company, and he's also passed Commando training to wear that. So he was a very, very talented individual. So the history of Army Commando and Royal Marine Commando. Royal Marine Commando is a specific commando. Army Commandos, these lads are engineers, they're artillerymen, they're signalsmen, they're guys attached to the commandos to do their job. The difference between the commandos and, we'll say, 16th Air Assault, anyone can wear the maroon beret in 16th Air Assault without doing P Company. What signifies you as a paratrooper or a para are these wings. It's not actually the red beret. It's these wings that signify you as a para. The only ones that can wear green berets are the people that have passed commando training. So for him to wear that badge, he has had to pass commando training. So he would have worn his own cat badge on a bottle green beret. He or whoever, the commandos, they make everybody do commando training if you're attached to commandos. So if you wear the green beret and you're attached to commandos, you have to do commando training. So they make doctors, nurses, paramedics, EMTs, chaplains, believe it or not, do commando training before they give them the green berets and let them be attached to them. So yeah, so it's a very prestigious little thing. From Steel Hemistan, I think Albania or Bulgaria had a very rare German World War II tanks. Hang on a second. Questions are coming in hot and heavy. had rare German World War II tanks paired pillboxes in the Cold War on the coast, and the locals started digging them out and selling them after the end of the war. Wouldn't surprise me. I know. The Americans left and off. They were selling. I found an advert for French farmers and stuff like that. They sold them jeeps for something ridiculous like $20 after the war. So yeah, so it was a lot of stuff left around the place. I got a Jelly Bean Australian patch today that someone in some other bits had to put on patch. Had to put on patch. Well, upside down. Yeah, because it's been Australian. Obviously, you have to have it upside down, can you? The lads in Lebanon wear greens. The lads in Lebanon wear regular paddy camouflage. They wear this camouflage. Oh, you see that? They wear that camouflage. They wear that one. They don't wear desert. Believe there's very very few deserty parts in Lebanon. It's up in the Bekaa Valley maybe, but the rest of it is it's green. It's green. It's green and rock. It reminds you of the Burn. If any of you know what the Burn looks like in the west coast of Ireland, it reminds you of the Burn. It's that type of. Actually, Italy. It reminds you of Italy a lot as well, because it's like the main crops that they grow is tobacco, olives, limes, that type of stuff. So it's like strip farming. They do it on layers, or not layers, but like banks. Lebanon is actually a beautiful country, guys. It is a beautiful country, but unfortunately, it's been torn apart by lots of hostilities. I'd love to actually go back to Lebanon at some point in time in my life. I've sworn it's on my to-do list, my bucket list. I'd love to go back to Lebanon at some point in time to see did we actually make a difference. Beirut is a beautiful city, fantastic city. Tyre, where we used to, believe it or not, we used to be allowed to go swimming. They used to bring us to like this. It was like Butlins. It was like a holiday centre. And you were allowed it was like a lottery to win a trip to a Tyre log base, and they literally had there was a cafe there was a restaurant there, you could buy beer, it was literally like a pool resort or a beach resort, and you could go swimming. I'd love to go back around and see those places and see have they changed. But yeah, Lebanon is actually a beautiful country. Army had to be sent in to guard the ones left. Guard the ones left. Oh, you're talking about the turrets. Yeah, I wouldn't. I've known a friend of mine who is a recovery mechanic. He drives a recovery van. He's told me before where he's gotten a phone call to go and collect a truck or collect a car, or a van or whatever that's lost its load or it's been crashed or whatever, and he's gone out, and while he's been out there, they've emptied the back of the lorry or the side of the van or stuff like that. So yeah, these things do happen. Not far from Albania, but in 1999 in Kosovo, there was 2 Sherman tanks captured from the Serbians. They were converted into mine-laying tanks. Oh, didn't know that now. Not when I was there. I did see them. Um, I've seen pictures of them, shall we say. In Lebanon, the Israelis had a militia called the DFF, the De facto Fighting Forces. They had Firefly Shermans. When I was there, they had T-55s and T-72s and half tracks, American half tracks. I have seen half tracks. I have seen half tracks. What else did they have? They had a mixture of everything and anything, those boys. Very, very, very dangerous guys if you ever came across them too, the DFF. One second now. My Hereford thoughts go out to the dogs and handlers that sniff out IEDs. I used to wear a blue RMR beret. RMR? I'm not sure what RMR, Jim, is. Great stuff, Andrew. I reckon there's still loads of World War II gear being used in storage. Did any of you see that story? It was last summer. You remember it was a German. It was in Germany. It was in Germany. I think it was in Germany. He was a military collector. I think he could have been a veteran himself. But they pulled a Panzer out of his basement and torpedoes and ridiculous amount of armament they pulled out of his basement. But yeah, they pulled out an actual. I think it was a tiger. It was a tiger. I think it was a tiger. One of the tiger tanks they pulled out of his shed or his basement. Hi Andy, the Scotsman. Cheers, brother. Mark something and Stugs. It's strange how the Army Commandos are the support arm when they were the original Commandos force and were furly against the Royal Marines being brought into the Commandos. Yeah, it is. It's strange how wheels turn. I think it was in the 50s that the Royal Marines fully took over the commando role, and there was no more Army Commandos. Before that, you do see them during the Second World War. You see guys with the green beret, but that have attached a commando unit, but they were called Army Commandos. Obviously, they were Army Commandos, but that have say Irish Guards cap badge or Lovett Scouts is a prime example. A lot of the Lovett Scouts, when Lord Lovett went to the Commandos, he handpicked some of the best Lovett Scouts he had, and you see them with their Lovett Scouts cap badge. Famous example of that is the one that is in the Airborne Museum in Pegasus Bridge. They actually have his pipes because Lord Lovett's piper was famous for actually piping off the boats in D-Day and piped them the whole way through Pegasus Bridge. And his pipes, his beret, his dirk. I can't remember, was he wearing a kilt? I think he was wearing a kilt, and his kilt is in that museum, the Airborne Museum. So if you ever look at photos of commandos, look at the cap badge. They're not all wearing Royal Marine cap badges. It could be anything. It could be any type of cap badge. Yes, Dave, I reckon you're right. Hoots, man, it's Jim. Land of my father's gort. Land of my father's gort. The main core I grew is cans and lager. The main crop I grow is cans of lager. Good yield this year. Hoots and the once again the sowing fields of basically lager. Still understand there are two bridges I have to cross. Should I take the left or the right? What became of the German guy's tank that was? I think it was handed over to the German army. It was a Panther. Was it a Panther tank? I knew it was something he had hidden under his frigging house. I think it was all handed over to the German army. I think it was put into museums and everything and everything. But he had a massive collection, apparently. He had torpedoes. He had rare... I think he even had a V1 or a V2 or something like that. And this Panther tank. One of the few in the world, I think. I heard about that old German bloke. What tank was hidden under his basement, yeah. That was in Germany. I think it hadn't been deactivated probably. I think properly. I think under German law a hole has to be cut through the armor. Unsure, but he got it took away from him. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't deactivated. 43 is roughly when the Royal Marines were brought under the commandos. Yeah. I think the first commando actual mission, specific commando mission, now don't quote me, I might be wrong, but the first commando specific mission was carried out by the Royal Marine Commandos was the Cockle Raiders, if I'm not 100% correct. But I think that was their first mission. RMR is Royal Marines Reserve. Okay. I nearly made it until a Volvo ate my legs. Oh, God. Sorry about that. It takes an Irishman to play the pipes. It does take an Irishman to play the pipes. That was a famous line, actually, from The Longest Day. Am I correct, Dave? Around the same time as the D upgrade, Jake. Could have been when the commandos came into being. As we Scots can toot the pipes too, brother. Not according to Sean Connery. No, it takes an Irishman to play the pipes. Sean Connery was a Scotsman, true Scotsman, and he said it takes an Irishman to play the pipes. Saint Nazaire, not Dieppe. No, they weren't. The commandos in Saint Nazaire were actually army commandos. I don't think they were Royal Marine commandos. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think the actual specific mission first carried out by the Royal Marines was the Cockleshell Raiders. Flanagan's back. We'll all be watching The Longest Day now tonight. Funny Sean Connery portraying an Irishman. Yeah, it was actually. Come to think of it, the Royal Ulster Rifles were on the. I think they were the first or the second wave on Sword Beach, if I remember correctly. Reading into the jaws of death, and they were army. Okay, yeah, I knew. Number 2 commando at Saint Nazaire, and they were army. I knew that. Sean Connery accent was exactly the same in every film, no matter what he played. Yeah, he played an Irishman in some other movie as well, and he was definitely Scottish, but he was supposed to be an Irishman. He was in it with Kevin Costner. Was it Kevin Costner? He was star to the FBI. Oh, Never Take Me Alive, G-Man. Jesus, what was the name of that movie? He was supposed to be Irish now, but he had a Scottish accent as well. 5 ECs for that action. Saint Nazaire there were. Was it Jeremy Clarkson's former father-in-law? Was it his father-in-law or his uncle-in-law? I know he's divorced now, but his previous wife, I think it was her father, had won a VC at Saint Nazaire. I think he did a documentary on it anyway. Nothing wrong with SHS. Hi Kenny, I read that a couple of months ago. A good book. The Rock. No, it wasn't The Rock. He wasn't an Irishman in The Rock. He was supposed to be an SAS man in The Rock. The Untouchables. There we go. Still have a stand. Thank you very much. It was The Untouchables. Try saying this as Sean Connery. She says by the seashore. No. Justine. Meant to be Irish in The Untouchables. That was the film, yeah. That was the one. It's a gripping read. What book is that? Oh, the one about Saint Nazaire. I actually watched a few documentaries about that one. And he was an SAS officer with Nicolas Cage in The Rock, taking on a bunch of mad US Marines. Yeah, it was. The Untouchables. Sean was an awesome actor. Best movie, Highlander. The Green ZX or VX gas, yeah. He was a good actor. I did like Sean Connery. I must actually say probably the best actor that's around at the minute that I really enjoy is Mark Wahlberg. I really like Mark Wahlberg stuff. I think he did Lone Survivor. I think was outstanding. And he can do sort of like comedy roles and really action roles as well at the same time. Obviously, what was that other one he was in? It's a complete piss take. The other guys where it was like a cop type thing, but yeah, I do like Mark Wahlberg in some of these movies. Just a dummy knows it poisonous. Check out Trashfall's account of the raid here on YouTube. I send me the link, Dave, actually on Messenger, and I'll have a look at it. I do like reading about commando stuff and SAS stuff and things like that. I'm reading Cold Corner of Hell at the minute about the Munsmuck convoys during World War II. My next door neighbour, actually, her father was in the Royal Navy during the Second World War, and she was telling me a story one time. But apparently, he was an elderly man at this stage, but he was always saying, "Oh, I'm going to be getting a medal one of the days. I'm going to be getting a medal one of the days." He was telling the grandkids, "Oh, you're going to have to come with me to go meet the Queen when I get my medal," and they thought he was gone mad. But unfortunately, the poor man passed away, and a couple of months after he came up, he had passed away. His Arctic medal came in. He had been on the Arctic convoys, and it's a very outstanding medal. Like you not an outstanding medal, but you know the Arctic medal when you see it. But yeah, it came unfortunately after the man had passed away. So yes, that's a heart wrenching story, I suppose. Violence is a virtue of the virtuous. Oscar Wilde, Sean Connery, The Rock. Ah, yeah, I do remember that line actually. Great quote from Sean Connery is from The Rock. Your best only losers do their best. Winners go home. And probably yes, that's a good line as well. Actually, my friend's granddad was on the HMS Belfast during those convoys, rough days. It wouldn't surprise me. She was telling me stories about. He used to say that they couldn't go out on deck. I can't remember what she told me he did on the ships, but they couldn't touch anything metal. If they brought out spanners or anything to do work on the outside, they had to wear gloves. Because they couldn't touch anything metal because their sweat would literally stick to the spanners or the railings and stuff like that. It was that cold, and they used to have to go with rubber mallets and rubber hammers every couple of hours and chip the ice off the boat, because if there was too much ice on the boat, it could cause it to capsize if it was hit by a wave. So they used to have to chip all the ice off the guns and off the deck. Apparently, it was so cold that their eyelashes fell out when they got into the warm interior of the ship, and it was agony. I didn't hear that one now, but it must have been bloody agony. Right, guys, it's just 9 o'clock, so we'll give you 5 or 10 minutes there to fire a few of those questions at me, like we always do at the evenings at the end of the live stream. And you're more than welcome to. I'll answer them if I can. If I can't, I won't. Plain and simple. My brew is starting to get cold. Mark Wahlberg is going to be great in his upcoming movie, The Family Plan. The first wife worked in the movies, and I still hold hands with her friends. It's time for now, buddy. I have a good night. Hopefully, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully. Did the German G3 have a bayonet? I've heard not. Well, there's no bayonet lug on it anyway. Unless they had some type of an SA-81 that just sat over the barrel and locked onto this. But it's a good point, actually. I haven't seen a bayonet for a G3. Maybe they don't have them. Yes, then it did. There we go. Kenny just answered the question. Right, guys. So it plug under the iron sights to be connected. So this bit. So plugged onto that. Okay. Interesting. Right, guys. So we're going to log off and knock off for the night. Have a good one. Have a safe weekend. I'll see you all next Friday, as usual, at 8 o'clock. Stay away from COVID. Stay away from people with scarlet fever. And enjoy yourselves and have a great weekend, guys. And I'll see you all same time, same channel next week at 8 o'clock. Stay tuned for the videos that are coming up over the weekend. Please like, please subscribe. And as always, leave a comment. It helps with the algorithm for other people to see the videos. So, guys, always leave a comment. This is good. This is crap. Whatever at the end of them. And thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next week.